Looking at the map, planning this hike, I had a spreadsheet of all the churches, as well as all the resupply towns, and saw that there really weren't many along the way. But this morning was a feast day, and I got really fortunate that I was staying with Corey D at the time. She took me into town, and we went to Mass together to celebrate. It's a beautiful church, although one of the smallest cathedrals I think I've ever been in. She drove me around the town after the fact on the way back and saw some of the local sites, as well as one of the smallest post offices I've ever seen. Locals have to come here to pick up their mail because the mail truck doesn't come all the way out to all the remote ranches. She dropped me back at the llama farm where I had stopped 2 days previous, and I started my walk that went well into the night because of such a late start. I still made 22 miles for the day and set up my camp in the dark. The next morning went through a burned out area, and there's plenty out here in Montana, so I entertained myself pushing down the trees. It had been leaning over the trail, so I was just saving the future maintainers the trouble of cutting it up when it finally did fall. There's not many people out here, and without social interaction, I found other ways to entertain myself. Sometimes it seems like the closest person is in an airplane overhead. On the ground, though, there's not much more than cows and cow pies. I definitely stepped in one and left a big gnarly footprint. It's a sight I've often laughed at before. A big cow pie in the middle of a field with a footprint in the middle of it, and you say, well, someone's having a worse day than me. But today I happen to be that guy. It was the kind of dusty and dry day where you hope there's not a lightning strike because a fire will start. I saw one coming off the ridge on a nearby mountain, and I could smell one even closer than that. When I crossed Highway 12, I realized I wouldn't have quite enough juice in my battery to make it all the way to the river, so I hitchhiked into Elliston, a little town with a country store where I could siphon electricity from the outlet behind the ice machine before heading back to the trail with a full battery. The old man who sat beside me on the bench at the country store was a chatty one, and when I admitted to him I wanted to be a writer, he told me about all the songs, plays, and screenplays that he'd written in his life. He's the one who gave me a ride back to the trail, and we listened to some of his country music on the way up to McDonald Pass, where I started walking and then shortly realized I had created some trouble for myself by forgetting my sleeping pad back at the country store. So I'm deciding, should I go back for it or just leave it there? I think I can go back for it. I mean, not ideal, but I've got time, I guess. After 15 minutes standing on the side of Highway 12 at McDonald Pass waiting for the right car to come along and pick me up, take me back to the country store, I remembered that guy who showed me all his country music had given me his business card. So I called him on his cell phone and he brought me my mat back. I sat in his car, we chatted for a while because he's a pretty interesting guy, but I'm walking into a storm now. So it's starting to rain. It was pretty heavy wind, and I know how easily these pine trees fall because I can push them down with my bare hands, but they all held, and the rainstorm came, yes, but the rainbow that followed it was complete, spanning the entire width of the sky, and even hinted at a double rainbow right above it. I don't get to see this kind of thing very often, as I imagine most people don't, and it only stays for a couple minutes, right between when the storm ends and the sky clears. I have a full pack, 42,000 calories from Helena down to the river, and I didn't make that many miles, but it's okay. I camped in a wide open field with no trees around me, so nothing would fall on me during the night. Assuming I don't get lost and have to backtrack or forget something or any other incident, I'm under 100 miles to the river. I do see people out here, but it's just that they're usually going in the opposite direction. These guys came all the way up from Mexico and they're heading to Glacier National Park, where I got on this trail. Everyone who was hiking south has already started their hike a long time ago. That is, except for the Australians. They were the ones I was asking them about. Had they seen them recently and could I catch up with them maybe? It's that part of the day where the weather starts. I've got this beautiful storm system forming behind me, and its beauty is purely artistic and not experiential. It's cool to look at, but not to be in the middle of. But I'm about to be in the middle of it, so well. Now, sadly, there were a few days in Montana where I didn't have rain, so I couldn't keep that streak going of having rain every single day I've been in this state since I crossed over from Idaho. But at least I have a new streak going. There was no reason for me to stop once the rain was falling, and I do like the way the forest looks after a rainstorm. Everything gets a more brilliant shade of green, and the water sources where I refill my water bottle are replenished, so I don't have to go far and wide looking for something to drink. That's great news when I'm carrying everything on my back. Each liter of water weighs about 2 pounds, and with every sip that I take, also with every bite of food that I take, it's that much weight coming out of my pack that I don't have to carry to the river. And after I get to the river, I won't have to carry this pack again for the rest of this journey. At the end of the day, I did finally catch up with the Australians. They were just finished supper and were getting into their tents for the night, and I promised myself that I'd get up early the next day so I could keep up with them and have somebody to hike with. Fires, rain, climbing mountains, all that stuff is a little bit easier when you have someone to do it with. They left camp about 30 minutes before I got my tent down, shoes tied, and feet on the trail. I asked people along the way had they seen them, and it sounds like I was about 30 minutes behind those two for the entire day. So instead of being a chatty walk, it was a peaceful one. It started at this lake high on the divide. I know it doesn't look like a lake because there's all this grass hiding it, but a lot of Montana's water comes from snowmelt, and this late in the year, most of that snowmelt is passed on down to the valleys and dried out. They still get plenty of rain, but not nearly enough to replenish these lakes. It rained first thing, and then it was hot afterward, mostly walking through cattle pastures and taking advantage of the little bit of water that there was to load up and carry it up the next hill. I stepped on a piece of ground right under a power line. It felt like I got electrocuted, but obviously it was mild because I'm fine. But that really shocked me. Pun intended. But other than that, it's just been trucking along. Trying to get these miles done, man. Oh, I'm so ready for these next 3 days to go by and cover this ground and just, I'm stepping in cow pies. Who cares anymore, I'm ready to get this tumor off my back and, move on. Well, I made it to the ridge where the Australians were camped and ended my day at about 26 miles. They're pretty good company, easy to talk to, and they packed out a deck of cards, so we played sevens and enjoyed the campfire until dark. They're moving pretty fast to get south of the Colorado mountains before winter. It was fun hiking with these guys, and we found not one but 2 coolers full of soda that somebody had left out for the hikers. The first one was right at the start of the day, and then the second one further along. They also hike really fast, and they don't bother to take as many breaks as I had when I was hiking alone, which I didn't mind at all. It showed me how fast I really could hike if I set my mind to it, and it was a lot easier to do with someone else. We're on the ramp for Interstate 15, been trying to hitch for like 40 minutes to go into Butte, charge up my battery for the last 3 days, or today and the next 2 days. Nobody's stopping. It's pretty hot out here. And Wombat over there is going up to get all the cars on the interstate. Well, right after I put my camera down, we got a ride after about an hour or something standing there. And then they dropped us at the exit. The Australians went and go get food, Wombat and Ratatouille. Maybe do a little editing, sit in the air conditioning at McDonald's, and then try and hitchhike Interstate 15 back to the trail. But if it's anything like the way in here, it took a while, That's it for me for Butte. I'm out of here. I'm catching a ride. Hopefully I can catch a ride. If not, I'm find somewhere to hide in town till the morning. After an hour standing on the side of the interstate, dancing like an idiot with a $5 bill in my hand, and then putting the money away because no one was stopping, the lovely Casey from Butte picked me up with her 2 sons. They're going apple picking and dropped me at the exit. Finally, dude, I was getting a sunburn just from standing there. But I'm back on the trail. Hey, next stop, Whitehall. Grab a celebratory meal in a couple days and then jump into Jefferson River to end this hike. Got to camp here and met my new friend Top Gun.
How's it going?
He was making supper down by the creek, and then now we're camped at the same spot. Dude paddled the Mississippi River for 2014, exactly 10 years before me, Mo, and Dottie. And tell them about your page.
So I've created a page, Wellborn's Mississippi Solo, on Facebook. One of the highlights of the trip is I got to go to Phil Robertson's house, have lunch with him. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, dude did it when he was 18 years old alone. So not a bad trip. Well, this is my last mile on the CDT. And I split off and go my own way. I'm more than happy to do. Got another day and a half. 2 days, depending on how slow I am, to the river. It's been a pleasure. And a learning experience. It's really something to come down off the divide, feel the temperature go up, and it gets drier, even the wind gets hotter. And further up the road, according to the map, there's some hot springs, so the water gets hotter too. And this is more sagebrush and rocks, obviously. Not so many cattle down here because there's not much grazing land, but up in the divide, up on the mountain, it's more foresty and there's more water. I guess in the mid-ground, not right on the divide. So I don't know where it was, but somewhere back there. I crested my last hill on the trip. Kind of fun, you know? No more climbing up. Little stuff, but nothing big. Are you walking on the CDT?
How are you?
No. But I didn't think it went through here.
Well, it doesn't. I'm on a shortcut.
Oh, good for you, man.
I'm on the Big Sky alternate.
Oh, is that this?
Yeah, and I'm hooking up back with CDT when I get to Butte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You'll be on it shortly then. Yeah, I hiked from there this morning, and
yeah,
I'm just ending my hike in Cardwell,
okay,
which is next to Whitehall. I don't know if you went through there.
Yeah, I went to Whitehall.
Did you see those hot springs?
I did not see any hot springs.
They're on the route. They're on my route.
I didn't, but I wasn't looking for them. So.
Yeah, I'm going. I think that's where I'm trying to stay tonight.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, don't mean to barge in on you. Is that your field with the creek running through it? Do you know whose it is?
I know they live that way. I don't know where their house is though.
Okay. Thanks. Well, he didn't know the owner, and I couldn't find any public land, so I'm right beside this road for the night, and it's pretty late, so I'm checking out. I woke up when the first rancher rolled past me on that gravel road. It would be my first morning of many camped in a valley, first to Jefferson River, then Missouri. It was a great opportunity after 82 days on the trail and 1,636 miles to have my first sit-down restaurant meal to celebrate the occasion of being done with the walk. Ordered a full breakfast and even had dessert with my coffee. There was a junk shop on the way out of town, and I dropped in to see if I could get a book. They didn't have anything good, but they did have this rain gear. And although it's too big on me, it's exactly what I need for the river. It's heavy duty, and I'm anticipating a lot of foul weather out there, especially thunderstorms on the Great Plains. So for $20, it was mine. Well, I had to walk out of Whitehall and over to Cardwell along Highway 2. It was a long, hot walk, and I spent the time looking for interesting junk on the side of the road. I found a fender, a Washington license plate, a pair of sunglasses, and somebody's third-grade portrait. Doing the last 3 miles of this road walk to Jefferson River, and I'm gonna be done. I got the Interstate 90 on this side of me, and I'm walking on Montana Highway 2, which parallels it. And then I'm cutting right, going down to the river, and meeting Tom, the guy selling me the canoe. One more mile, a couple more minutes. I'll be there. I get you a good time?
Yeah, this is fine.
This is Tom Alpel, who canoed the entire Missouri River in the trunk of a Douglas fir tree he carved out as a canoe in 2019. He wrote a book on it, as well as several other topics. He teaches people wilderness survival skills here at Green University. They call it River Camp for short.
Cool. And then we're square on that. And then how much do I owe you for 2 water jugs and 1 life jacket?
I don't know. We'll
Do it then?
Dottie used her Facebook to put the word out, saying I was looking to buy a canoe in the Whitehall area, and he got in touch, saying he was in Cardwell, which was close enough, and had some canoes to sell. I got in touch with him back in May. He said his canoe would be available August 21st or later, so I showed up on August 21st and bought it from him. I've been looking forward to getting to the river for a while, but I was also looking forward to the break I was going to take from this trip. Tomorrow I'm flying out of Bozeman to go see my family, and when I come back in 5 days, I'm going to start to paddle down the river with one of my brothers. But before I left the river, there was one thing I had to do. I've been waiting to do this for a long time.